Welcome to Transforming the Toddler Years, a Core 4 parenting podcast for conscious, cycle-breaking parents ready to turn toddler tantrums into teachable moments. Hi, I'm Cara Tyrrell, a lifetime lover of littles, mom to 2 grown and flown girls, and an early childhood educator. Through the show, I teach you my collaborative parenting methodology for nurturing your little human's mind, body, and spirit. Because how you connect and collaborate in the first 5 years is how you raise happy, healthy kids who grow into the best version of themselves and find true success in school and life. Hey, Mama. You know that parenting is a job, a J-O-B job, and it's okay to ask for help. It's okay to know what you don't know. And that's what I'm here for. My Transforming the Toddler Years course is currently closed, but I am accepting one-on-one clients who are looking to make massive transformation inside their home. If you're feeling overwhelmed, disconnected, and that you're in survival mode all day, every day, but you wake up determined to be intentional, calm, and connected so that you can help your child thrive, I can help. Schedule a complimentary connection call with the link in the show notes to share your parenting journey and your current struggles. Let's see how we can work together to help you transform the toddler years. Welcome back to the show. Today's episode is inspired by a 10-year-old little girl who was galloping down my road on a wooden horse. Yep, you heard that right. It's nice out. It's summer where I live, and recently my husband and I were sitting out on our back deck and we heard clink, clink, clink. And so we looked over to the side road. We're in kind of a little cul-de-sac where it's safe, and saw the most beautiful thing. This little girl, 9, 10, I'm thinking more like 10 years old. And she had one of those horses that had the molded fabric heads, but the wooden stick in between her legs. And she was galloping down the road. And every so often she'd hit the little button that on the horse's ear and it would neigh. And then she would gallop, gallop, gallop. And she went back and forth and back and forth. And I sat inside the moment and I just had such joy watching a young girl be creative. Creative play. That's what we're talking about today. Creative play. And what does it really mean? Our brains are always creating. I find more and more that we are giving our kids things to consume instead of allowing their brains to create the experience. They're consuming experiences instead of creating them. And like everything in the world, one is not better or worse or evil or good. It's about the balance. And the balance seems to just have shifted to too much consuming of experiences through digital devices, through toys that do the talking, toys that do the creating, the thinking, toys that tell them what to do and then expect them to take the action. Can you see the difference? I don't know what was going on in this little girl's brain. I don't know what world she was creating in her head or what road she was pretending to gallop down. But it was cool in there. And that type of brain spark is what we need our tiny people to be doing during this explosive time of brain growth and development and neural pathway connections being made. Instead of telling those connections where to go. We want them to take the road less traveled. We want them to spark their own ideas and create their own worlds inside self-directed play. When my kids were little, we didn't have a lot of the devices. I think the Leap Pad was just starting to come onto the market, and I steered as far away from it as I could. But everything that people gave them came with batteries because it did the talking or it made the noises. And the very first thing I did, if my kids listen to this podcast, well, now you're going to know, and I'm not sorry, I took out the batteries. If this was a toy that was going to be engaged with by my child, I wanted them to manipulate it, not it to manipulate them. And that was just what mattered to me because I knew what was going on inside their growing brains. So creative play can come in so very many spaces. This girl had an object and she was using it to create a world of her own. I was on the Peloton recently, and one of the instructors was talking about one of his fondest memories from childhood that actually led him to where he is now in rhythm. And it was his mom just taking all the pots and pans out in the kitchen and giving him chopsticks. Not drumsticks and not a wooden spoon, chopsticks. Cool, right? And he was doing his thing, creatively making rhythm and movement and music, a young kid on the kitchen floor while mom made dinner. Creative play can happen independently, or it can happen with partners, with you, with other friends their own age. And when we interact inside a creative play space, it can get even better. My world and my ideas come out. This Barbie is going to be the doctor today. Then your world and your ideas come out. Well, this Barbie has a broken leg, and so I guess she's going to come see you in your office in a little while. We can explore what somebody's idea is and what somebody else's idea is when we do interactive, creative play. But the gateway to creative play, and this is where it might seem uncomfortable for you, is often boredom. It's definitely uncomfortable for your kids, which is why they complain about it. It is. I'm bored, right? And if your kids are younger, they'll cry. They'll whine. And our first instinct is, oh, let me switch out that toy. Or what do they need me to do to entertain them now? Oh, they must be bored. Here, let's do this instead. I cannot say it loud enough or enough times. The gateway to independent creative play that's sparked from inside their brain is often boredom. You need to give it a minute. Literally, give it a minute. When you feel that urge or they're begging you to fill time and space for them, give it an actual minute. And watch what happens. Watch them redirect themselves. Watch them come up with a new idea. Watch them go pick their own next thing to read or play with. When you give them time and space, you're giving that brain of theirs time and space to sit inside the uncomfortable and create the next thing. The next idea. That's what brains do. And this foundation of uncomfortableness inside perceived boredom and then spawning a new idea is the foundation for sitting inside discomfort when things are hard, the resistance piece, and problem solving, how to get to the resolution of that, which is building resilience. I've said it so many times and I'll say it again. When kids experience the resistance, they build resilience. And you allowing them uncomfortable, unscripted time is the first step towards it. It's not your job to entertain your kids. It's your job to engage with them and then let them create their own little worlds. This is so important. And it's really hard to get to the other side when we are conditioned, really, to just do for, keep them happy, the smiles, the giggles, or conversely, turn those tears into silence by entertaining them with a device or a new toy or a new human. But you can do this because I know that you really want to raise kids who can come up with their own ideas, who have creative brains, who are problem solvers and they're thinkers, that they understand that there's not always just one way to do something, that they can come up with a new strategy. Yeah, all of that starts when you give your bored child space and time to figure it out on their own, and maybe some chopsticks and some turned over pots and pans and a horse on a stick. Until our next episode, please stay mindful and proactive as we transform the toddler years.